One Damashe.
Okay. Say something, Mike.
Yes. And I hear myself.
You hear yourself.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So that is not going to work. So let's turn that off. Boom. Okay. And we'll go back to the regular mode. All right.
But now you hear Jaws, right? If I do... hold on.
Well, I did hear Jaws for a second. Okay, yeah, I do hear Jaws.
Yeah.
Pinned list box. Lock.
Now you do not hear Jaws.
Nope.
Sweet.
Okay.
Huh, it's like
that isn't going to work.
Before. What?
So, told you I talked to Tamir. For everybody listening, that is our... Hold on one sec. Let me start a backup session because my original backup...
Oh, good call, because I'm not sure about Zoom's recording reliability. Let's start a backup session and not go live on ACB Media this time.
Oh, crap. Hold up. I gotta... Hold on. Gotta change my input device.
I now have audio in both ears again. That is so nice.
Okay. Say something, Mike.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. So I told you that I talked to Tamir because he was checking on the order that I placed to make sure, that I placed the order and that the shipping address was, all kosher, which I appreciate. So, because I bought something, obviously. So.
And I know nothing about this.
No, you know absolutely nothing about this because I didn't. Yeah. I intentionally did not tell you.
I had a hint that you bought something, but I knew nothing else aside from that.
So, this is not the year of simplification for me, but still, I decided to go simple. Go back to the basics in a way, but also kind of stupid expensive. So what I bought is I rebought because I bought this before and sent it back. So
I know
let's see if Mike can guess what I bought.
Baby face?
No, I did not buy the baby face.
Oh, okay. Because you had that for a minute, didn't you? That's literally where my mind went when you're like, more expensive. I'm like, oh, did he buy that?
So the baby face could be a super nice interface, but yeah, it's a little too dependent on software. What I did buy was the other thing that I had bought at one point and sent back, which is the Sound Devices USBPre 2.
Okay. And it's not working for you?
Oh, no, it's working fine.
Oh, is that what you're on?
Yep.
Okay. Huh.
So
you sound fine.
It's great, man. It's awesome. The only thing I couldn't do, which was going to be my end of the show surprise, actually, is I was going to record you on a track and Reaper using its kind of loop back feature for channel 2, but you heard yourself, which I was afraid of. So that
did you turn monitoring off in Reaper?
I hadn't even turned monitoring on. I had just opened Reaper and just added your track. Reaper wasn't really doing anything at that point. I just switched it to the mode once I was in Reaper for it to do that loop back, but you heard which is not good. But it does work great for doing voiceover tutorials and demonstrations. So
and it keeps you guys' like your voice is separate.
Yep.
Okay.
So the way that works is kind of like one mode for channel 2 only on the USBPre 2. You can put it in a mode that's called loopback, and you just press a button. Basically, you're cycling through. So let me start from the beginning because most people won't know anything about this interface, and honestly, you really shouldn't go buy it. I want to feel bad for buying it, but I don't, which is different from me usually because it's like I really shouldn't have bought this, but I think I should keep it. But I really feel bad about I don't feel bad about buying it. But the USBPre 2 is a hardware only, like it does not require any software whatsoever to operate it. You plug it in and it works. The only thing I haven't done yet is plug it into the phone to see if that works because I just haven't done it. But it's a 2-channel interface. It's not complicated. There's no, super, there's no sliders or anything. But it is a, for what I feel like I'm going to need over the next, hold on, I'll just start that over because I need to give you a really good edit point for that smack right there. That was So for what I think potentially I'm going to need in the coming year is first off something that is solid and just works. I plug it in and it works. I don't have time to fiddle around with software, and I did just need to reboot when we started recording, but I hadn't rebooted in like 2 weeks, so we'll deal with that. And audio was weird everywhere. So the USBPre 2 from Sound Devices is crazy expensive, and the only regrets I have about purchasing it right now is I really just should have kept it when I bought it years ago, because it was like $300 cheaper. It's like I just should have just kept it. But it is a hardware interface. I plug in my mic. It does have dip switches, so there's not any software to control it at all. There's just nothing like the USB. And part of what prompted this what seemingly is a stupid purchase for me, because if you go look at the price, you're going like, oh my God, don't look at the price.
Okay.
But the Vocaster kind of blanked out on me one day. Like I had no audio coming out of the computer.
That's
Headphones are fine. Yeah, it's super irritating. I was like, man, I got to do something about this. I do have Zoom recorders around that I could use, but I don't like them for a couple of reasons. Well, I'm not saying I don't like them. That's the wrong way to put that.
They're not the best tool for your job that you need.
They're not the best tool to be the permanent, like, hey, this is sitting on my desk. It's already configured. Everything is set up. I don't have to push any buttons. I just come in here, sit down, and start recording, right? The worst I may have to do is reboot because of Mac OS being weird, not the interface. Also, if I keep using it as an interface, then what do I do when I'm traveling and I might need to record a show because, hey, I'm out of town and was out of town longer than I expected or whatever, and I need to get a show done. Leave that in the bag, because what I've discovered, if I take things out of my bag, it doesn't necessarily go back as soon as I'm done using it, which means when I'm moving around and I'm traveling, I probably don't have that thing that I know I should have in there because I took it out. Side note for listeners, this is why you buy duplicates. If you have to travel and you need cables of any sort, whether it's charging cables or whatever, buy two. Or if you have one, buy a spare, put it in your bag, and leave that in your bag. Don't take it out. If you have to go take it out because, you let your kid use your charging cable and now it doesn't work, buy another one instantly. Yeah. And I cannot reiterate that enough, because I've gotten to places like, I don't have a way to charge this thing. So I'm going to use it because I have to use it. But when it dies, it's over for this particular trip. So buy extra cable. At any rate, this thing has dip switches, and the reason I sent it back originally when I purchased the Sound Devices is I was having problems flipping the little switches in the back. Now, once you get them configured the way you want to, you really don't have to touch it. But for example, there's a dip switch. I don't really know how to describe dip switches other than there's a thing on the back, and you open it up. It's like a little weatherproof rubber stripping thing that you have to pull out. And you need to use a very small tool. I have a very small Phillips head screwdriver that's actually used to put the screws in and tighten screws or whatever in eyeglasses to flip these switches up and down. I can feel them with the screwdriver, but I didn't have that screwdriver when I had it the first time. I was trying to use a pin,
okay.
And that didn't work. And I also tried using a sim tool, which also didn't work because I bent the end of the sim tool. So. But I had to flip a switch, for example, to turn on, what is that? Phantom power on channel 1.
Oh, so it's not just a quick button.
Nope. You have to flip the switch. But once it's flipped, like it's on forever until you flip it off. But I also have a separate switch for flipping on phantom power for channel 2. And I tested my ability to feel where these switches are and do all of that by plugging in something that you sent me to channel 2, and I realized it needed phantom power because I couldn't hear anything. And then I was like, oh, well, there's the switch for channel 1's phantom power. So here's channel 2. Let me flip that one, and oh, look, now the microphone works. It's very staticky because I think that cord has a short in it, but hey, it works. But for what I think I'm going to need in the coming year, hardware-wise for recording, I'm not doing any of this stuff. As much as I aspire to do some of the things that you're doing, I'm not doing a lot of that at all. So I don't need this big mixer on the desk or anything like that. but I do need something that is reliable hardware that I can plug in and will work. And if I have to take it somewhere, I can take it somewhere. I would prefer not to, but I can. I said, I really did like that interface. I've been missing it since I sent it back. So I'll just buy another one. And I'll keep this one and I'll pay it off and we'll just keep moving and not worry about it. Now, for travel purposes, I'll have the H4 in my bag. I think it's H4. And the reason the H4 is because one, it's a little bit more compact than the H6. And unless I plan to do something where I need multiple microphones, the H6 is overkill and it's bulky.
Right.
So take the H4. H4 is in the bag. It stays in the bag forever. It has
You know
batteries
where
in
it
the bag.
is.
There's a cable in the bag for the microphone. There's a little mic stand like the one that I sent you that's in the bag. When I bought those mic stands, it came with two. So I sent you one because I didn't need two of them. But I have that same mic stand in that bag. There's my Shure Beta 87A is in that bag. And there's a XLR cable in that bag. The only thing I don't have is meat, but whatever. I'm on the road. Deal with it.
Yeah. You'll get over it.
Yeah, it'll make it work. But I have good audio to go on the road. Yes, I could have packed my USB microphone, but I kind of think I sound better on the 87A over that ATR. So there's that. What I was going to surprise you with was this loopback feature because it does allow you to route channel 2's audio. And on the front of this device, I'll describe this very briefly. It's like a rectangular box. On the left side of it are your inputs. On the right side are your outputs. On the front panel are your controls for different things. And on the back are let's see what's on the back. On the back are two XLR males for connecting to like speakers or sound systems. There's some digital optical Toslink, whatever. I don't know anything about that stuff, so I don't care. But there's two of those on the back. And then there's the panels. There's two dip switch panels. There's an A and a B. And they're covered up by these kind of, like when you buy stuff and it says it's like outdoor rated or whatever, waterproof, and there's like this little rubber seal gasket thing you have to pop out before you can access whatever's up under that panel. That's how those are set up. And it's two sets of those. The top set, which is A, is all controlling how inputs work. And the bottom set B is to fiddle with some output stuff, none of which I need to mess with. The only thing I really needed to do was turn on phantom power. And then I close that panel back up and I shall never open it again unless I need to plug in a second microphone that needs phantom power. So
how did you know what the dip switch? Oh, go ahead.
Good question. I will come back to that one in a sec. So on the front panel, well, let's start with the left side. So left side, starting at so if it's facing you, which means the front panel is facing you on the left-hand side, if you start at the back corner, there's an XLR input, that's channel 1. The one next to it, coming towards the front, is XLR 2, or channel 2. Then you have your standard quarter-inch stereo inputs left and right. And then you have some, what they call RCA jacks in front of that, right? Those are all input options. On the front panel, starting at the left, you have the gain knob for channel 1, and then the gain knob for channel 2. There are 4 buttons in the middle. They're stacked 2 by 2, so 1, 2, and then go over 3, 4, like that.
Right.
There's also lights on the front that I can't see, so I don't care about what they are. You continue over, and there are 2 buttons that have the ability to be depressed, so you can press them in, and that means you can't manipulate them once they're pressed in, but you press them and they pop out, and then you can twist them. The top knob is one that I probably won't need for a while, which is controls the level of your output. So if you hooked up some speakers to that back or something like that.
Right.
The bottom one is the important one. That is your mix knob. So that controls how much of a mix you have between monitoring in your headphones and also computer audio when it's connected to a computer. So in the middle, of course, is an even mix. More to the left is going to be more of your monitoring, and more to the right is going to be more computer audio. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
explaining
Yep.
that.
I gotcha.
All right. And then, and those two knobs are above each other. So basically you kind of set your mix of input monitoring and computer audio, press it in, and then now you can't accidentally screw with it.
So pressing it in doesn't mute it, it just locks it into place.
Yeah, just locks it into place.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then next to that, to the right of those two buttons that are vertically stacked on each other is your volume knob for your headphones output. And then we come around to the right side panel. And all this is output stuff. So starting from the back of that right side, you have a USB-B port. As most interface, still not sure why everybody. Well, this is old. Like this is super old because I know people that have had these for over 10 years. So, but anyway, USB-B port. I did buy a USB-B to C cable because just
Okay.
B is goofy. Coming forward, you have some. To me, what they feel like there's two sets of these, but they feel like the RCA jacks. One apparently is for digital something another, and another is for just kind of standard RCA. I don't really care because I'm never going to use them. And if I do need to use them, I'll figure out which one is supposed to be the right one. And then coming towards the front edge of the right side, you have two headphone jacks. You have
That's
a quarter-inch
interesting.
jack at the top, and then you have a standard 3.5 millimeter at the bottom. The knob for your volume controls both of those. So wherever you have it set is where it's set. But it just gives you options for what you're going to plug in. I have the quarter-inch jack plugged in with the AKG 240s. My thought was when I'm on camera again and I need to not look like a podcaster from 2007, I'll use my in-ear monitors and just plug them directly into the 3.5 mil jack because they don't come with I could use an adapter if I needed to, but that makes sense to me to plug those in. I'll just keep the AKGs plugged in at the top. All right. So I want to go back to these 4 buttons on the front panel first. And the ones that are important for me are the first set that are stacked on top of each other. So I'm going to call them input 1 and input 2 because I think that's what they're probably labeled. Those cycle through what channel. So for channel 1, for example, pressing that button cycles through what input you're using for channel 1, whether it's the XLR, the quarter-inch, or the RCA.
Okay.
Inputs. The one below it is for channel 2, and it does the same thing, with the exception that there's an extra option for channel 2, which is the loop through feature or loop back feature, which takes any audio coming out from the computer and sends it back through channel 2. So
Any audio.
yeah, in any audio. So that means you heard yourself, which is not what I thought that might have happened, but when I tried to test this, I really couldn't super test it the way I needed to without having another person on the other end. So I wasn't sure. But that's the downside to that. What that does mean, though, is let's say, for example, I wanted to record a demo of voiceover or NVDA or JAWS or whatever on the Mac and Reaper. I would set set one track to channel 1 for my microphone and set the second track to channel 2, cycle that through till it gets to loop back, and then it has a clean recording of the screen reader going directly into that channel.
Which not only makes it easier for your listeners to hear, but then you can drop those multi-tracks into Auphonic and get a transcript of what the screen reader said versus what Damashe said.
Yep. Now, the way that I figure out, because this is kind of visual, but the way I figure out whether or not, where I have the loopback option set is I will take that, remember that mix knob that gives me, monitoring or computer audio, twist it all the way to the left. So I'm just monitoring myself. And then I press the button. And then while I was in Reaper, which I was telling you, say something, I was pressing the channel 2 button to cycle, and I was hitting up and down to hear Reaper say, or hear voiceover say, track 1, track 2, or whatever. Right. Until I heard that, I wasn't in the loopback mode. But as soon as I got there, I was like, okay, say something, Mike. And he was like, you said something. And he was like, and I also hear myself. And I was like, okay, well, that's not going to work.
But I wonder if there's some creative mixing you can do, or maybe it doesn't give you that ability within Zoom? Like, could you put me on a different track, like track 1, or does it not expose all of those?
So it doesn't show this interface up as having separate channel input or output options in Zoom.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
it's not really much different doing what I'm doing now. Just open up audio hijack and hit the session and hit Command R. And what I had to do in audio hijack when I was like, oh, let me set up this other backup recording, because what I was going to do is go to work, because I had to switch the input for me from the Vocaster. It was like, warning sign, Vocaster is not connected. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But
Because
come
my
on,
other
just
session,
update.
my other session that I've been using, that I use to kind of test audio to like, oh, I want to try this out, or let's see how that sounds or whatever. Like I did change that to the input, and I forgot about the TW session. Now you asked a question of how did I know what all this stuff was for?
Well, the dipsticks specifically.
The dip switches. So there's a manual that's in PDF form that is actually, readable PDF. I didn't have to OCR it.
Oh,
But I cheated this time, because the first time I had this interface, I read it. I was like, I don't want to read all that crap. So this time I just fed the PDF to GPT, and I was like, hey, analyze this, read this manual, and then be prepared to answer questions about it. And then I asked, give me the functions of the dip switches one by one, et cetera, and give me one dip switch function, and then give me a chance to ask questions about it before we go to the next one. And we went through that way.
okay.
And I actually saved the table that it was, all unprompted by me created.
So say it's been generating tables more and more lately, I feel like.
So I saved that table because I was like, hey, I probably need that at some point to refer to it in case I need to make a change or something. But that's how I learned. Now, most of the stuff I kind of knew what it was. Those buttons on the front I talked about on the front panel that you press, I did not remember what those were for. And I knew there was a dip switch. I just didn't remember which end it was on. So, and it didn't get everything right. Like it has the order of those buttons in the front completely screwed up. But it's fine. I figured it out and moving forward. But going back to what I was saying. So, one reason I made this investment is because, yes, I want something that's in the office, and now this is Velcroed under my desk because I really don't have to screw with it at all. And if I need to adjust volume or something, I can just reach under and adjust the volume because the volume knob is closest to me. Gain and all of that is further away. Mike says my levels are fine, so I don't need to go adjust it. I could if I needed to, but I don't have to. I wanted a solid, reliable piece of equipment. And to be honest, it also scratches a little bit of an itch because I needed to buy some audio. But I didn't need a big mixing board with sliders, even though I miss my sliders.
Right.
But I don't need that because what I actually need is something reliable, which a good mixer like what you have would be reliable because you've been traveling around and moving it around and it still works. So you want that in case you have to take it with you. But I didn't need the big board. I don't personally at the moment have a use for it. Despite missing the sliders, I cannot stress enough to people who don't get it, like how nice it feels to move a slider to adjust the volume for this one thing. It is amazing.
Just nudge it up a tiny little bit instead of,
or nudge it
2%.
down a tiny little bit.
Yep.
Or somebody comes in, YouTube comes in super loud, and you just slap the mute button on that channel. It's like, all right, stop that nonsense for a second because I can't hear crap. It's nice, but I don't need to buy that at the moment. But I did need a reliable piece of equipment. And if for any reason I need to move space quickly, I still have this interface I can grab and take with me. It does allow me some routing capabilities if I have to do something more professional. There's enough input and output options here that I could use this as a part of that process. I might have to break out that Soundcraft, but the Soundcraft will be a mixer at that point if I find myself in that scenario anytime soon. This provides me enough inputs and outputs to do what needs to be done, and it sounds great. Like I honestly feel like I sound great.
That could be a placebo effect. I mean, you
It
sound good. I'm not
probably
saying
is.
you don't sound good, but
Look, it probably is a placebo effect. Like I gotta justify the 1,200 fucking bucks. So yeah, it's absolutely a placebo, probably. But I do feel like I sound great.
good, good.
Here's the thing, though: when the gain isn't turned up anywhere near, I'm not even halfway gain.
Oh, wow.
The volume is super low.
Huh.
There's a warning when you start reading the mail. When they're telling you what the knobs and stuff are, like, warning, this is capable of pushing audio at a very high volume, so be careful. And it was worth it for me enough because I take podcasting seriously. I take audio tutorials when I do them seriously enough that I want to sound good. I need something reliable. And again, we both listen to people who use this interface and they have had it for over 10 years.
Mm-hmm. And it's still solid.
It's still doing what it needs to do. And it scratched a slight itch. So there's that too.
Well, that is exciting. I'm glad to know you got something new.
No, it's not, man. It was one of the stupidest things
for me. It's
exciting. I'm excited too. I was like, man, I can't wait to record Saturday. And Mike calls me like, man, we're going to need to record on Sunday. Like, come on, man. What are you doing? I got new stuff. It's like when you got a new phone and you call people on your new phone and be like, hey, how's
and then
it going?
I tried telling Damashe, hey, I don't think I can record tonight. And I imagine.
Oh, man, look. So I hadn't decided what I was going to talk about yet, but I was going to probably come out here and try to do like a solo episode. I don't know if you ever listened to SMR podcasts.
Yeah. It's been a little while, but yeah.
On the rare occasion that I've listened to it, I've listened to it a few, here and there. Tell you about a really stupid thing I did too, regarding that podcast. But on the random occasion, I've caught an episode where Chris was recording by himself. Mm-hmm. So it's a solo dolo episode. It's like, I'll go out there and I'll record an episode and I'll just edit the audio as I'm going and drop some markers and then send it to Mike and then we'll be done.
And then reveal at the end that you recorded with your new tech, and that's why you had to.
I wasn't even going to say anything about it at all. Just go record the episode because I was like, I don't think that terminal thing is quite long enough. It was long enough.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it was long, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was like 23 minutes, so it would have been super short, which would have been out of character for our content because we typically don't post that short of episode. This weekend did reemphasize to me, though, that you and I need to come up with a strategy for backup stuff. So I went bowling last night, which really meant the kids went bowling and I sat at the table, and Mallory and I were talking today, and I'm like, I gotta go record with Damashe tonight, so when we're done with your dad's, I'll just text him and let him know, and if it looks like we're running late, I'll let him know too. Quick side note, I should have listened to her, because she's like, if we're not out of there by 6:20, then text Damashe. I texted Damashe at 5:45, and I'm like, yeah, it looks like we're going to be a little bit late, or we're not going to be able to record today, because Mallory is going through pictures with her dad, and I'm not going to interrupt that. And we get out of her dad's house at like 6:18, and she's like, or I'm like, I texted Damashe. I should call him real quick to find out what he wants to do since we're out. She said, why'd you text him? You should have waited till 6:20. She had a plan in her mind. But anyway, so I was talking to her today about that. That's when we came up with that 6:20 plan. And she's like, in retrospect, we probably should have just left you at the house last night and recorded because my sister was in town. And then you guys recorded and we went to do bowling and, would have turned out pretty well. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's easier to think about things after the event.
Hindsight is 2020.
Yes. But it emphasized to me that we really should figure out, because honestly, this is episode 108. We've done 108 episodes without really missing anything. And there are some easy cop-outs because we've produced so much content that we could just easily replay, because I guarantee one of the 181 people that downloaded the 107th episode hasn't heard everything that we've produced. So we could have went and pulled some of that old content and played it. But Damashe and I tend not to do that if we can help it. So
Yeah, there was also that extra, and the only reason I was, if I wouldn't have sat down and done a solo recording, I was going to go scroll through and Reaper the audio that I forgot to stop audio hijack, and we were having a conversation. Some of that was usable content for the show. Some of it was a little too inside behind the curtain stuff to put out there, but some of it was usable content that we could have used in the show too. So I might have gone through and done that. There probably was, well, I'm sitting here, so I'll tell you my view. There probably may have been an expectation that Mike might have bowled also. So that's why you went.
Yeah. I was thinking I was going to, but then I got there and we just started talking, and that did not happen. So,
Bowling is something I should take my kids to do. They're not quite big enough yet, though. I'm not sure what you do with little kids with bowling.
they have those ramps.
Yeah, but those things look goofy.
They look goofy, and it's not bowling. Like, you're not putting effort in.
It's not like you need to be able to hold the ball and fling the ball. Like that's the whole. Like, look, I watched the Flintstones growing up, and I had enough vision back then to see Fred Flintstone rolling his bowling ball. I was like, I want to do that one day, and I've done it, and it is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's even more fun when there's beer involved. But
Yeah,
when I first went bowling, there was no beer, so
our bowling alley has a full bar.
Yeah, see, it's more fun when you go to a bowling alley as an adult because there's beer involved. But bowling is an interesting thing to do.
Yeah. Did you go watch a movie
Did I go watch a movie?
with Lincoln?
We did not make it to that movie.
Oh, okay.
We did not make it to that movie. Partially because I outsourced the research of finding out when the hell that movie was playing and when we could go to Tia, and I don't think she did anything about it.
Not ChatGPT. ChatGPT could do it too in the future. But what I was going to say is it'll probably be on Disney Plus.
Like ChatGPT, set this up.
Pull some strings, ChatGPT. Get this movie going.
Yeah, make this happen. Like I need to get in.
I'll make my
time.
GPT call your GPTs.
Yeah, look. I have my GPT call your GPT. We'll set up lunch.
Instead of my people call your people, it's my GPT call your GPT.
Will call your GPT. Eventually, it's so important. Like the GPTs are like, well, we'll just discuss everything and fix it, and just tell them what to do. Which is where it feels like we may be going. A little scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also thought about that. It'll probably be on Disney Plus or something. And I did buy the Sonic 3? I think it was Sonic 3. Whatever the most recent Sonic movie was. I did buy that. And I pre-ordered that as soon as I could get it. So you got to watch that at home. And to a certain extent, like my kids, unfortunately, because of their particular age and COVID, haven't really been to a movie theater, right? So they don't have that experience. But I say somewhat unfortunately and somewhat fortunately, because I try to buy decent TVs even though I can't see them. Like I want, I want the best TV I could afford. I want 4K. My next TV is going to be, I can almost guarantee it for certain my next TV. Well, I can guarantee two things. Number one, my next TV will be an OLED. And I can almost for certain guarantee it's going to be an LG over the Samsung, because the LG TVs come with the out-of-the-box speech now too.
And they go into LG Sync?
Yeah, look, I don't
LG
care about
Think?
that. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? I don't care about that part.
Yeah.
Forget the stupid smart features. But
to disable all those smart features.
You turn on the TV and it's already talking.
Yep.
You have to turn it off. And I like that.
That's awesome.
Because I bought an LG smart. So I have a Samsung now, which is still an LED TV. And then I bought an LG because I was talking to a friend of mine who had an LG. He's like, they talk to. I was like, oh, well, they got one on sale at Sam's, and the kids want a TV in their room, so I will buy them a smaller TV to go in their room. I'll buy an LG so I can get a comparison of the usability of both of them.
Right.
It's like, this LG's got a nice. And because I want my kids to have the best viewing experience they can possibly have, the next TV I buy that goes in the living room will be a OLED, because I can't suffer anything less than that. So even though I can't see it, got to be an OLED. But there's a part of me that at this point feels like sitting down, like for me personally, and this is me as a parent kind of sort of making a decision
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have to stick, but I'm more comfortable with it because it's how I would live my life. And it's also what I wished I could do when I was a kid, which is I would much rather sit home with my own popcorn and sodas that didn't cost me $20 a box,
Yes.
and watch a movie on a really great TV in my house than go to the movie theater or pay all that ridiculous amount of money, get my shoes stuck to the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and wonder what in the world somebody
And
put in
then
this chair.
change your thoughts because you don't even want to think about it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's funny because for the longest time we never did anything in the theater. Like we want to go to the theater, and then all of a sudden Ben wanted to go watch something. I don't remember what it was in the theater, and I'm like, I don't really want to go, and it doesn't make sense for us to pay $12 for me to go and listen on some headphones that I don't
That
know
probably
whose
don't
they
work.
are. Like I don't. I'm not interested. And so it's turned into a Mallory and Ben's afternoon go watch a movie and maybe get lunch or something. But I get where you're coming from because it's so much cheaper and you can tailor the experience to what it is you need if you stay home.
Yeah. Now I will take them to a movie. There was a movie I wanted, and I we couldn't get a way up when we needed to get there for, and I don't remember what the movie was.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. It was, I think it was Raya and the Last Dragon, or something.
Oh,
But anyway, it eventually came out on Disney, so they got to watch it on Disney Plus. But I was gonna take them to see this movie, and I will take them to something like an IMAX theater because there's an IMAX theater up in Birmingham. So I do want to take them to see a movie there because I've never been to an IMAX theater. Just full transparency, there's never ever really been any close to where I lived.
right.
But it's an experience I feel like they should have, and kind of like you. I sort of don't really personally want to go, but I feel like they should have that experience.
Yeah. Yep.
If I have to go, I'll go. If I can get out of going, I will not go because that saves the cost of my ticket or whatever. But I think it's an experience that they should have to get a really, because IMAX apparently is really great to look at. So I feel like that's something they should do. There's things like that like I try to make sure that they get that experience of different things. Like we went to the zoo, we've done, stuff that I ordinarily personally, I don't care about doing this because it's a very visual experience, but it's nothing like a kid seeing a lion. I mean, personally, I hated the lion being in the zoo because it's like, man, you should be outside. Like, come on with me, lion. We'll go take over the world. But, kids should get to see stuff like that, I feel like. I mean, I went to all those on field trips and things like that, and their school does field trip. I think actually the zoo trip was Lincoln's school field trip, and we took Mia out of school to
Right.
go to the zoo with him and for her to go on that day. So there's things like that I try to do. We're no longer in the city. I say the city meaning Atlanta, because I would have taken them to a Braves game already. But I guess I'm gonna have to take them to like one of these minor league games up in Birmingham at some point, so they can go to a baseball game. Mike's experiencing baseball games now.
Yeah, sure am. High school baseball is interesting. Although, I'm not complaining about it. The last time we were at a baseball game, though, they at least had announcers who were telling a little bit about what was going on. Not a lot, but a little bit. So that was an experience.
It's different when your kid is playing.
Yes.
Versus you just going to the game. Like one thing I kind of dread about going to the minor league game up here for there's some kind of Pandas or something. I forget what they're called. It was somebody's minor league team in Birmingham. I've been to baseball games, but I've always gone to Major League Baseball games. Similarly, football games, I've always gone to NFL football games.
Right.
One thing I like about those, here's a tip for people: if you're more like me and Mike, and not like other people who are running around doing everything they can possibly do, no matter what the ridiculousness of it may be. Go to a professional sports game. Take your phone or take a radio. Well, what radio app did you use now on the iPhone? That's the other problem.
I wouldn't use a radio app. I'd take a small radio with you because you're going to get that delay.
Well, there's that, but also there's not any good radio apps anymore because TuneIn doesn't give you stuff for free like it used to.
Yeah.
And all of the free radio. So what I'm getting at is like the funny thing is like a friend of mine put me on this. He's a sighted guy, like but he would be coming back from Atlanta on Sundays during football season, and he would listen to the Falcons game on the radio.
Mm.
And he said this to me one day because I called him. I was like, "Man, you back here?" He's like, "No, I'm on the road, man, and I'm listening to the game." I said, "Man, you missing the game?" He said, "No, man, I got it on the radio." I said, "Oh, okay, that's what's happening."
Mm.
It's like, "Oh, I should check out the game on the radio." The radio announcers are freaking amazing.
Yep.
They should get more money. We should definitely donate more money to radio stations or something because it's awesome. Like it is way better to the point that I have sat with people and listened to the game on the radio while they were watching it on TV because the announcers are just better. The announcers on the TV will get off on side conversations and something happens and all you hear, "Oh my God, what a play." And it's like, I have no idea.
I don't know what play you're talking about.
The radio announcers they know nobody can see the game because you're listening on the radio. So it's perfect. Baseball, football. I haven't found a basketball radio. College does this. College basketball does this. I have not found an NBA situation, but I haven't been following sports all that much recently anyway. But what I would say, if you go to a professional game, like, don't let the fact that you can't see the game stop you. I would choose a professional game over most other, college or high school if I have a choice. Again, if your kid or brother is playing, then you just show up because that's what you got to do. Because there's going to be a radio broadcast. Take a little radio and listen to it, and that way you're right there with the rest of the crowd. So you're not going, "Yeah," when everybody else is going, "Yeah," and turns out your team just threw an interception. Like, that's not fun. It's not fun.
Or yelling, "Go Ben!" and Ben's not for three people.
Ben's still in the dugout.
Yeah. That I still get that one quite regularly. Ben asked me at the last game, "Did you cheer for the right person this time?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just cheer anyways." There is, I forget the name of the service that they used it, but by Postal Media, most of their stations now have got the delay through the stream to about 5.5 seconds, which is reasonable. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but it's reasonable because you're always going to have some sort of delay, and that's pretty handy. And the best way to listen is really to just go to the station's website.
Yeah, that is a good solution. And honestly, there's always a delay. Like TV broadcasts have a delay.
Yep.
It's just you don't know it because you're not there while it's live happening, but there is a delay. What's weird is I vividly remember, and I will never forget this game because it was the Super Bowl of 2017. Because it was just after Lincoln was born, and it was when the Falcons were in the Super Bowl. They played the Patriots. We were robbed. I say robbed. Absolute thievery. But we're really kind of that whole delay thing. Like I was listening on, I think I had it actually on TuneIn. TuneIn still worked on the phone as an app. You could, grab your local station that you want to listen to, and there was no, weird crap going on. I don't even know what TuneIn got really crappy after I moved to Birmingham. I moved to Alabama shortly after that because I couldn't listen to my Falcons games anymore without paying a $9.99 a month subscription. Like, it ain't that serious. I mean, it's serious, but not that serious.
Right.
And also the app had gotten kind of crappy too. So
it's gotten bad.
A lot of dropouts, like a lot of disconnections and stuff like that were happening. Like, I'm not giving you $10 a month, and I may catch half of the game. Like, I'm cool on that. But anyway, 2017, listening to the Super Bowl, I'm sitting on the balcony, and Tia had to go to the hospital because she was having some complications, and she had to go back to the hospital. So I'm at the house with both of the kids, and I was outside on the balcony and listening to the game. And I'm in Atlanta, of course, so you hear other people yelling in their house. Right? So I knew things had already gone wrong before I knew what had gone wrong because oh no! Oh, and all I could do is like, oh my God, what just happened. It's not good. I don't like the way he just yelled. That was not a
Yeah.
good yell. That was a bad yell. Oh crap! He just threw an interception. Son of a.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, the Patriots came back in like the last 3 minutes of the game, which makes absolutely no sense to me. You dominant anyway. We're not going to talk sports.
So I'm disappointed in our listeners, Damashe. Do you know
Shout
why?
out to our tip jar subscribers, though. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, get that one in there. So yeah, last week I do see the irony in this. I'm well aware of this, that I said, don't worry, the episode will come out on Monday. It doesn't matter how late it is, it's going to come out on Monday.
Yeah, you said it might be late in the evening. It might be around
Yeah.
6 Pacific or something, but it'll come out on Monday. Yep.
Yeah. Then I got up on Tuesday and said, oh, I didn't edit the episode last night. I don't even know if I called you or anything and told you. I don't remember, but it did come out on Tuesday last week. You guys were not misheard. We did not get anyone to reach out to us. I don't think, as I frantically pull up Mona, because I don't remember anything coming across saying, "Hey, where's technically working?" But if you ever want to know where the episode is, drop us a Mona Mastodon post or an email, and yeah, we will. I'm sorry, I got distracted by notifications on Mona now that I opened it. They're all right here. We will endeavor to get you the show as timely as we can. This full-time job has
It's
changed
in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely changed the way that things work. I'm not complaining about it, but it definitely has changed some of my extracurricular activities for sure.
It's a little different when you have a job that requires you to do stuff between specific hours. So you have more of a fixed working schedule. Whereas one of the beautiful things, and one of the reasons I still have a job with AT guys, well, partially because JJ ain't fired me. 'Cause you know, there are some days, there's some weeks that go by and I'm like, this dude's nuts. Just really cut me loose, man. But a part of the reason that I really liked working for JJ, and I still like working for JJ, is things have to get done. And sometimes there's a time crunch. You have to do stuff kind of like, you know, ASAP, but that's very rare. And that's usually an external factor that is pushing on us as opposed to, you know, you didn't do a thing. But you have that flexibility around the schedule to like, oh, well, I can delay this for a couple hours in the middle of the day and get to it at, you know, 9:30 at night. It'll be fine.
Right.
You know, the only thing that kind of applies any serious pressure from a working standpoint from with AT guys is making sure you don't let those tickets pile up too deep. Because that's
Yeah.
But other than that, like the other stuff and the things that I've been focusing on since I have been away, like again, I went away for 6 months and like I was barely reachable sometimes. But I still was able to do some things. Some things I didn't do, and then JJ was like, "Oh well, I'm going to go over here and do this." Then and I was like, oh, "Okay, well that actually works." You know, it went like, "Oh, you didn't do this, so you know, screw you." It's like, "Oh well, this isn't going to work, or that ain't working, or yada yada." You know, we made it work, and there's that flexibility. If something has to get done, like somebody picks it up, but there's that flexibility because there's not an actual hard requirement like that. That's what's been different for me, and I think it's taken me a while to adjust to it. And having sporadic workers or sporadic outages of work from the people that I rely upon hasn't helped. But that's been one of the problems for me with the vending is like there are days where I have to get to certain places during their open hours. Like I don't have a key. It would be great if I could show up at 9:30 at night and go fill their machine and they come in the morning like, oh, the snack fairy was here. All right. But no, I can't get in. One of the most relieving things for me over the past couple of weeks that happened is I had a conversation with somebody at one of my post office locations. And I was, you know, just asking about, because there would be times where I would, you know, we'd be out and it'd be in the morning. I'd go by a post office and like all the mail trucks are back there in the area where we need to park, where we can't get in. Like, because there's nowhere to park. Two, we can't get in their way while they're loading up mail trucks and trying to get out to go run their routes. And there would be days where just the way stuff worked out, I wouldn't be able to get back over there before I felt like they would be closed. Well, it occurred to me one day, stupid. Talk to the people at the post office and ask them like, hey, when is a good time to come in here for one? And like, what are the actual times I can get in here? This lady blew my mind. She was like, well, we're here, till like 6, sometimes 7 at night. Well, so I can come over here at 5 in the afternoon. Yeah. Oh, okay. And we're also here on Saturdays late, so I don't have to show up because I was operating under the impression the only times I could get in there, even though I'm coming through the back where the mail workers are, and whether I'm not coming through the front of the post office like a customer of the post office. I'm coming through the back where the mail workers go out at with their stuff. I still was operating foolishly under the impression that I only had access to that location during normal customer hours, right?
Right.
So Saturdays, post offices tend to close at 12 or 1 o'clock, one of those. I was like, well, if I don't get there before 11 or 11:30, like, there's no point in me going in here. So no, we're here, Saturday for these hours, and we're here on Sunday too, because we got to do the Amazon deliveries. I was like, oh, so I can come in any of those days? Yeah. All right, lady, thank you.
You just made my day.
Man, you just changed my freaking life. I was like, all right, cool. That allows me to restructure my schedule in a way that I can make it. I don't have to hold people beyond what their time limit is for the day. And I know when I can get in here, and also when are the best times to get in here, because you guys aren't in here trying to load up mail trucks. Because if there's a bunch of mail trucks back there, like, there's no point in me stopping. Number one, there's nowhere for me to park. And two, if there were, I can't take up somebody's space while they're trying to do that, because a mail truck, when they get out of there, like, they're getting out of there. Like, there's not any, you could get run over. I'll put it to you that way. Someone told me at a post office, I'm not going to say which one. Like, look, you don't want to be out there when they try to get in and out of here because you can get run over. I was like, all right, cool. Stay from back there. There's a bunch of mail trucks. I ain't even coming in here.
Right.
But that would cause me not to get to that location until several days after I should have been there, right? And it's not neglect on my part. It's just, stuff happens during the course of the day. And, okay, well, I can't get in now at 9:30. You go off and do some other location. I end up way on the other side of Birmingham. Other side of Tuscaloosa. And by the time I'm coming back down, it's like, oh, well, I can't go there now because it's like 4:30. Not thinking like, oh, they're probably still open in the back. Like, I really wasn't thinking like that. And I kind of feel stupid, honestly, for not having thought about this first and foremost.
Yeah, but this is still, though you've been doing it for 8 months now, actually running your own route, this is still a new experience for you. So I don't think it's out of line to think, oh, I can only come in during these hours. Although I think we did have this conversation about you getting connected with the janitor and saying, "Hey, can you and I work together so we can get the snack fairies in there?"
Yeah, that was at a different spot though, because some locations I am restricted to when they're open.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of lumped the post office in like that, and I really, I'm not beating myself up about it. Like, we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago. Like, I'm not overly, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not overly, well, I guess beating up myself is the best way to put it. Like, I'm not dwelling on it too much that I didn't think about it. I feel like I should have thought about it sooner, but at the same time, like, just let it go, because a lot of my locations are time-based. Like, if the business isn't open, I can't go in and work their machines. If the location's not open physically to the public, I can't go in and work the machines, because when they close at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, everybody's going. Like, it's not like, oh, well, we're closed to the public now. It's like, no, we're closed. Like, we're leaving at 5 o'clock. We're out of here. So having that expectation for the post office isn't completely unreasonable.
Right. Gotcha.
But again, the year, I forget what the year is supposed to be now. I have
It's
completely
funny. You
lost track
mentioned
of it.
that this isn't the year of, and I'm like, I don't remember what my year is. I need to go back and take a look at that.
It's at the bottom of the Google Doc that I need to go open it. I'm not going to do it right now. But following on the year of connections, which is what last year was for me, just having a conversation, it occurred to me one day. I was like, you know what? When the next time I'm in a post office, I'm going to, and there's somebody I can chat with for a second. Without interrupting what they're, just those happenstance, like I'm in here loading the machine and somebody comes in. Like I will ask that person because they work here, because nobody's back there that doesn't work there. And just, figure out, because I'm trying to figure out, like, these are my customers, right? It's not just like, oh, I got to do this thing, yada, yada, blah, blah. Like, no, you're my actual customers. Like, so I have to do my best to serve you to the best of my ability. A part of that is figuring out, like, because you're a post office, like, I kind of realize what you guys are doing. I understand how this works. I don't want to be in your way, but I also don't want your machine to, get down to near empty or empty because I'm not getting in here, because when I'm starting my route, like, you're top of mind for me because you're a post office and you guys are working hard.
Mm-hmm.
But then I can't get in here, and then, day just happens like, oh, well, now I can't go because it's after 5 o'clock. Like, well, maybe I should ask. Like, maybe I can figure out by asking, because I'm not going to figure it out by guessing. What's a good time? What's the best time for me to be here? So that way I can plan my schedule more around that versus I'm gonna go hit the post office first thing because I know I was there last Monday. It's Monday again. I need to go in there and see about them. And I pull over there. It's like, it's a bunch of mail trucks. Okay, on to the next spot. So just following on with that year of connection and the lead back in that, like, you have a theme. We've been trying this thing out for the years, and stealing that a little bit from Cortex.
Yeah.
But because it's a new year and you got a new theme, doesn't mean you drop everything from the last year. So you do have to make efforts to continue that, which also is going to lead into something that I think we'll close up with, unless you got something else. Is there's an old saying that I've heard, often heard several times over the years. In order to get different results, you got to do something different. In order to get something you never had, you got to do something you never did. I found myself in a situation where my worker has been working out great. Like, there are things that I have to learn about managing people, and things that I need to learn. Like, hey, this appears to be an issue for, everybody. So let me figure out a solution to make this easier for them, which will make it easier on me. There's that sort of stuff that I got to learn, and I am learning. But she had a death in the family. My condolences out to them. I'm pretty sure none of them listen to my show, but I'll say that anyway. I've said it to her personally already.
Right.
So that took her out early last week. So now I'm scrambling. Because the first day when she found out, she was in no condition to do anything about anything. And then they had to go out of town for the actual, services and all of that, because the person that passed is in Michigan. There's a few things I won't bring up right now that I am annoyed about the situation, and I'm still annoyed about the situation. We'll save that for a different show, and I think I can express that to the general public, to our listeners, without sounding like such a jerk. I might sound like a jerk anyway when I say it, but we'll come back to that. But at any rate, that left me in a situation like, oh, poof, she's out. And at the moment, I don't know when she will be back. So I'm trying to figure some stuff out. And what this highlighted to me is, hey, remember you started writing up this job description and you were going to post this job, and then you didn't because she showed up and you got a good worker? You should probably do that.
That's a tough place, though, because you still need the work to get done, but I don't. So in Oregon, I don't know what the rules are, but there are rules against not being able to, for employed individuals, hire someone during a specific period of time during bereavement. But the problem is you still need to get the work done.
Yeah. So I need to have a backup person.
Yeah.
I need to have alternative people in place. And here's where I'm going to say procrastination has not helped me out. Oftentimes we say sometimes procrastinating helps you out. This is the case where it hasn't, because when I got her, when we talked and figured out this would work and yada yada, she started working for me. We did the little trial period, a couple of days, and like, okay, yep, we'll keep moving. That immediacy that I was feeling prior to that of posting this job, or posting a job and trying to find somebody, kind of went away. Partially, and I'm not going to necessarily say it's really procrastination, but it kind of is. And the reason I say that is because one thing I've thought about is like, I don't need somebody every day, because I have a everyday person.
Right.
But I do need somebody that I can call. Well, who is sitting around with nothing to do that's like, oh, well, I'm just here whenever you call me for a job. Otherwise, I'm just hanging out, watching westerns on Tubi or something. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was trying, because she is, I would say overall, generally, she's the best employee I've had at this point. Just across the board in general. Everybody has their quirks, but across the board, generally, she's the best employee I've had. And what I've been trying to do with her also is learn some of the things that feel like they would be general issues that a person would encounter. Like, basically, you're helping me learn, one, how to be a better manager of people in situations, and two, what does my onboarding process need to look like when I start hiring more people, or when I need to hire another person. So that's where I say the procrastination is kind of come in, because like, oh, I can push that off a little bit and kind of figure this out a little bit more. And based off where we're running into rough edges at, I can highlight this as like, okay, I didn't explain that well, or this is something I need to make absolutely sure a person is aware of. So this needs to be in the job description. Like, is this a job description thing, or just a management problem thing, right? And she's kind of helping me figure some of that out, because I'm learning as I go. Well, now here we are. Yeah, my rest area is probably jacked the hell up. And I'm stressed about it. I'm really stressing about it.
Because you haven't been able to make it out there in a week?
So I should have been up there Friday. I actually wanted to go up there Thursday, but I had to move stuff around a little bit based off her being out. So I had to move some things around this week. So there's a few places I didn't get to that I should have gotten to. I screwed up Friday a little bit because it started pouring down rain. Like, it was a serious thunderstorm. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, it's raining a little bit, you're going to get wet. And I told my guy, I told Tia's dad, I said, go to the house, man. Because one, again, I'm thinking about my people. And like, you're an older person. I don't need you out here getting wet. You ain't got no raincoat with you already. So like, I just go in the house and grab a raincoat, but you ain't got a raincoat with you. You need to go do another thing before we can go anyway. Just go to the house, get you something to eat, and when the rain stops, we'll go. Well, what I didn't do is call him at 7:30, 8 o'clock that night and be like, okay, let's go. Because I was like, well, if it's raining in too late into the night, we'll go do it Saturday morning. Well, life got in his way Saturday and has been in his way since Saturday. So I'm stuck. And I honestly, at this point, don't have another person to call.
Yeah.
So got to get off my butt. I've been doing some of that today, working on refining what I need as a job description to post. I'm probably going to toss that around to a few people before I actually publish it somewhere. And I got to figure out where that somewhere is going to be. LinkedIn may be one of those places, because I think it might be free to get the first thing up there or something. Also need to go make a LinkedIn page for the business, which is a whole nother deal that I ain't done either. But the procrastination has come back to bite me in the butt in this particular instance, because life just happens, right? Nobody truly is to blame. If there's anybody to blame for anything in this situation, it's me for not, hunting down another person that could fill in. But I'm also a little stumped at the moment. Like, how do I grab a fill in? Like, what is the job description for you're a fill in? Which means I'll put you on payroll, but I might not call you for 3 months.
Yeah. So you asked, how do you find someone who's just, sitting there watching TV and wants to work when you need them? And my mind went to gig economy, and they're like your high class Uber driver.
Yeah. And I have, what I'm going to have to do, because I was thinking about that today, actually, like, what I need is an Uber driver. But none of the Uber drivers and I don't take a lot of Ubers here. If I was in I took a whole lot more Ubers in Atlanta. I don't take Ubers as much over here because they're stupid expensive. They are crazy expensive over here. So I don't take Ubers as often as I would just because the cost is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I think I paid just about as much to get my hair cut as I paid for the Uber to get back from the barbershop, which is crazy to me.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but there may be, and I'm, I went over, had a conversation with some people over at the store because I was chit-chatting with them. I needed to run over there for a second anyway. But I'm just going to start talking to people. I kind of feel slightly awkward, but at the same time, I got to get over that because that's a me getting in my own way situation. Like, when I'm in situations, even when somebody's with me and we're out working a location, I'm just going to have a conversation with people about, hey, it not trying to steer the conversation there, but if we land in a optimal place where I can ask these type of questions because they have come up and I've let those opportunities pass by because it feels weird to talk to somebody else in front of the person that works for you about somebody to replace them, but I'm not really trying to replace you. I just need somebody to fill in for you when you can't work. So I've let a couple of opportunities potentially pass by, not necessarily finding a person, just having a conversation with somebody about how that works that could have led to something. Because, this person's standing right there. It kind of in some ways feels like, oh, well, I know you're working for me and I'm paying you right now as I'm having this conversation. But from your perspective, you may feel like I'm trying to find somebody to replace you, and that's not what I'm looking to do. But I gotta keep my business going. If you're not around to drive, I can do everything else that needs to be done for this business to the best of my possible ability. And the one thing I cannot do is get in that van and crank it up and go drive to the location. It don't matter. Anything else I do is not going to fix that until I find people. So I got to work on that. If anybody has ideas of approaches, I'm a pretty shy individual. I'm not a very outgoing person, so I don't make friends super easy. I'm not one of those outgoing, come in the room and by the time I leave, I know everybody's name and their kids' names. No, that's not me. I'll walk in the room and do what I came in there to do and leave, and 85% of the people won't even know I was there. Got to work on that. I'm working on it. It's going back to
getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's going back to to get something you ain't never had, you got to do something you never did.
But if you have feedback.
Yep, we're always open to your feedback. You can send us an email, feedback@technicallyworking.show. That's .show. And we're on Mastodon. All of us are on the Mastodon. He's on Mastodon. He's Payon, PAYOWN, at dragonscave.space. That is DRAGONSCAVE.space. I am Damashe, DAMASHE, at technically.social. See, it fits. And the show, you can follow the show bot to get episode posting. So even if you were following the show bot, some people may not have responded because there's not that many following the bot yet. But a few people followed the bot after this.
I was going to say, are there people following it?
Well, there are some people following the bot. And I think we may have gotten a follow to the bot this week because the show was late. And they were like, oh, well, if I follow the bot, then I'll know when the episode is.
There you go.
That's what the bot does. It is TW at technically.social. Now, the bot is, more social than me. It's just I already had that domain and that Mastodon instance set up, and we're not setting up separate Mastodon instances. We ain't making that much money. Shout out to the tip jar supporters, though. We appreciate you. If you want to become a tip jar supporter, you can go to technicallyworking.show. That will take you to our Pinecast page, and on that page is a link to become a tip jar subscriber. We do honestly appreciate everybody that chooses to become a tip jar subscriber. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for listening to the show, regardless of whether you're a tip jar subscriber or not. And here's how you can really help us out. Share the show. The show is on all these places. You can get it in any place you get a podcast. So Apple Podcasts. Google doesn't have podcasts anymore. YouTube podcast, because we're on YouTube.
Yep.
Spotify, we're in there, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, we're in all the places because nobody else has their own directory.
And if we're not, let us know where we're not so we can get there.
So yeah, follow the show and share the show with a friend. And reach out. Let us know what you want to hear about. I'm going to throw this out there again only because it's been on my mind because I've been working on restructuring some stuff that I should probably talk about next week because I forgot about it this week and the show's already going long. So, smart home. We're going to do this episode. It's not going out of my mind. It's not going from Mike's mind. I think well, for me, for sure, I'm kind of in some transitional phases with certain stuff. I have not deployed Home Assistant, but there are going to be conversations about smart home stuff.
And naming your devices.
Man, naming shit, oh, man. Oh, man.
Tune in next week.
Look, this is why there's going to be a whole episode dedicated to smart home stuff, because that is serious right there. How do you name these devices so that you don't, I'm trying to turn off this light. No, not that light, this light. Wait, what? Stop.
Oh.
No, not all the lights in that room, just the lights that are named for that room. What are you doing? Sheesh.
So stay tuned for sure and tell a friend. And we appreciate those of you who have told friends. Our numbers have gone up. I think part of that has to do with I did post last episode in the Unmute podcast feed. And we also have linked consistently 2 weeks in a row. We'll see if Michael can hit 3 in a row in Top Tech Tidbit. So thanks to Aaron for posting that out there. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Aaron, and
Yeah.
I'm still supporting over there too.
Yeah, me too. I found that out a couple weeks ago.
I was just thinking about that when I was looking at my RSS feeds. I was like, when do I need to renew that? Right? Because I paid for when do I need to renew that thing? I think it's coming up in the summer or something. But we
Mine
appreciate
was
everybody.
2 weeks ago.
Thanks for listening. Oh, on the Mastodon, because I'm old. So on the Mastodon, use the hashtag technically working. And we appreciate it if you capitalize the T and W just because it makes screen readers read it correctly. Shout out to a listener, I think I mentioned this once before, who gave us a whole bunch of ways that we could use the screen reader to make it read it correctly, whether they capitalize the T and the W or not. I appreciate it. I didn't mean to sound like a jerk then, and I don't want to sound like a jerk now, but it's a little more trouble than I want to go through. So if they do it, cool. If they don't do it, it still shows up.
Yes.
And I am following in Mona, because Mona is an awesome Mastodon client. I am following the hashtag technically working. And so is the bot. So there we go.
The bot's not following me, though. Or you.
Oh, yeah. I realized that at one point, like, I should really go follow us with the bot.
I mean, I don't know why it's just a bot, but it does look a little lopsided with 0 following.
Yeah, well, it's a bot.
It's a bot. People. Who knows what the bot? And one of these days, maybe what we're intending is eventually the bot will go listen to the show itself and then decide to follow us or not. That's scary.
See.